too. This is my altar for my dear friend, Judith Knoop, and our almost 50 years of friendship. This is the photograph taken by her daughter, Tanya Knoop, and the fact that Tanya was becoming a photographer, and such a good one, gave Judy so much pleasure. And this photo was taken on her couch, where she liked to relax, and where, in fact, she passed very peacefully. These orchids are from our garden, these two, and they represent her love of flowers. We'd often go over the years to the Conservatory of Flowers in San Francisco and enjoy the flowers there, and she liked to have flowers in her house and flowers in her garden. And these are parts of nature that squashes the fruits of the earth that when I put here, when I first made this altar, were very heavy, and now the seeds are drying out and they've become very light, so that the process of transformation is happening the whole time that this altar sits here. And I add to it over the weeks. Different flowers have been here that come and go, and I think of new things. This was designed by Rafael Jesus Gonzalez, this peace button, and represents all of the peace marches that Judy and I marched on many decade after decade for social justice, which was very important to her. This is the water for her journey, and when I first put it, it was here, and now it's going down. And these onion and garlic skins represent all the meals we cooked together and we enjoyed and that we ate together, that our families shared, and the restaurants we went to. We spent a lot of time eating together and cooking together. For a while, Judy had an angel collection. Everyone was giving her angels. There were angels in her backyard, angels in her house. She was overflowing with angels, and now she's my angel. And these are acorns that when I first started this altar were all over the backyard. And they also are part of nature that she's gone back to. And these are rocks from all the walks that we ever took. And this one is a crystal, because in the 60s and the 70s, maybe a little of the 80s, she had a lot of fun with crystals and well, she was always enjoyed mystical and spiritual ideas that are so embodied in the crystal. She had a teapot collection, and this is a little enamel teapot from her large and beautiful collection. Her house was beautiful, and she put a lot of time and creativity into it. She collected bird houses, and this is one, and she had many bird houses leading up to her front door. And she loved salty food, and these pretzels are for her. This candle, the Yarhite candle, is something I had bought when Saul was dying, and I never lit it, and it was just hanging around in the kitchen. And one day when Judy came over and we were making lunch together, she said, "Look, you have a Yarhite candle." And I just said yes, and I didn't comment on it, but I never lit it. And now now I've lit it
And what does it
for
mean?
Judith. It's a memorial candle for remembering people who have passed, to be lit once a year. I think the word Yar Heights Memorial Candle means yearly memorial, yearly memory. And these are Band-Aids, because Judy was a nurse. She healed many, many people, and she certainly healed so many of my wounds, which is one of the reasons I miss her so. And she delivered many babies. There are a lot of 30 and 40-year-old people walking around that were brought into this world by Judy. And she got a lot of inspiration from that moment of birth and a lot of spiritual strength from it. And so this represents the babies. And this is from the Church of the Goddess in San Francisco, and this is one of their rosaries, and this is the Earth Mother. And Judy was a tremendous feminist, and she was very influenced as a young woman, maybe 19, 20, 21, by Robert Graves, who wrote The White Goddess and who spoke and researched very much about the role of women and the matriarchy, and that left a great mark on her. And she was very involved in the feminist movement, and in the late 60s, she was one of the real pioneers in women's health, and in the 70s and in the 80s, and brought it into the mainstream at San Francisco General from a little women's collective storefront, and helped to develop a birth center and pregnancy preparation and classes for teen mothers and childbirth preparation for families. She was a great innovator. And this is our turkey wishbone. This recently was added, and this represents all of Judith's hopes, wishes, and dreams that are still here with us today. And this is designed by Rafael Jesus Gonzalez, Peace Button, and represents all of the peace and social justice causes that Judy and I marched on. Whenever there was a march, we'd call each other and say, okay, we'll meet here and there, and off we'd go. She worked in Louisiana and Mississippi, working for social justice, and was always there for the rights of others and for women. And this was money. She had to work for small change. Though I think as a nurse, she was well paid, and she was a star nursing student. Even with 3 children, she got top grades. So I really miss Judith, and having this here has been a great comfort over the weeks to add things to it. And the quilt, in the last maybe 15 years of her life, she took up quilting, and she made many, many quilts for her family and her friends' new babies. And this is the quilt that she made for my great-granddaughter, Lily. And the reason Judith took this up was she wanted the challenge of having to be precise. And she focused on the star pattern that she thought was going to help give her that discipline. And so many of her quilts have the star pattern where she takes up that challenge. And through the years, she would share with me the different stages of quilt making that she was at, developing more and more new skills from the very first quilt that she struggled with. These are the fruits of nature, and when I first got these gourds, they were very, very heavy, maybe around Halloween. But with time, they're going through transformation, and they've turned light, they've dried, and the seeds are going. So they are always in a process of changing, as are the flowers, as are the berries, that life and death and transformation is happening all the time.
And we have this here.
And these persimmons are more fruits of the earth, full of sweetness, the sweetness of life, all the fun that we had together, the theater performances, the dance classes, doing things with our kids, the crafts projects, the travels and adventures, running around all over San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the water for her journey. And when I first put it there, it was full, but over time, it too is being transformed and evaporates.
And we're listening to jazz, right?
Yes, she loved jazz, and she loved music.
It's quite beautiful, Nina.
It's been a great comfort having this in my house, and as I find new little things and I embed meaning in them and put them here, it gives me a lot of comfort and has helped me very much in the grieving process, that I have a place to express it. Now, tomorrow morning is the 84th birthday of my friend Anne McWilliams, and I'm having a birthday dinner for her. So I'm going to pack up and dismantle this altar. But I'll always know that I can always do this again in any shape or form, with whatever I can find and bring memory and meaning to.
Thank you, Nina.